If you want to improve your swimming, you need to get into the water and start swimming. If you want to improve your driving, you need to get into a car and practice driving. And if you want to improve your English skills, you need to start having English conversations. And that's where this video will help you in 3 steps. Step 1. Listen to an everyday English conversation that takes place in a British coffee shop. Step 2. Increase your English vocabulary as we go through all the words and phrases that were used in that conversation that you might not have heard before. And step 3. Practice your English speaking skills as you take part in the conversation that you've just heard. Hi, I'm Steve. Let's do this. Hi, what can I get you?
I'd like a gingerbread latte, please.
I'm awfully sorry, but that's a seasonal drink, so we stopped serving them last week.
That's so disappointing. My friend's been banging on about how good they are.
My hands are tied, I'm afraid.
Never mind. I'll just have to make do with a plain latte then, please.
Sure, what size would you like?
A medium one, thanks.
No problem, it'll just be a jiffy. Can I tempt you with anything else? The carrot cake is particularly nice.
I'm not very keen on carrot cake. Do you have any scones?
Bear with me, I'll check. No, I'm sorry, we're all sold out.
It's not really my day, is it? Still, it will do my waistline good to do without. What's the damage?
If there's nothing else, that'll be £3.20, please.
Here you are. Keep the change.
Cheers, that's very kind of you. If you need sugar, it's just along the counter.
Thanks. Can you tell me the Wi-Fi password, please? I need to check my emails.
Sure, the password is on your receipt. Just give me a holler if you need anything else.
Fantastic, thanks.
Let's take a few minutes to go through some of the words and phrases that you've just heard in that conversation that you might not have heard before, and you'll also learn some pronunciation tips. The conversation started with the server saying, "What can I get you?" Now the meaning of this is really easy, but notice how he pronounced it. It wasn't get you, it was get you, with a ch sound. This is really common in everyday English. You try. What can I get you? What can I get you? The drink the customer wanted was not available because it was seasonal, and this means it was only available during one of the 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, or winter. And the server apologised using the phrase "I'm awfully sorry," which is an extremely British way of saying "I'm very sorry." Another word that can be used in English to replace the word very is so. It's so hot. It's so expensive. And we heard it in the conversation when the customer said she was so disappointed. And she was so disappointed because her friend had been banging on about it. And to bang on means to talk about something over and over again. I bang on about the schwa sound because it's such an important sound to make if you want to speak natural English. The server said his hands were tied, which meant he couldn't do anything about it, and he tried to make this bad news not seem quite as bad by adding the phrase "I'm afraid." And you can use this phrase "I'm afraid" either at the beginning of bad news or at the end of bad news to make it seem not quite as bad. For example, "I'm afraid I'm going to be late." "We're going to miss the bus, I'm afraid." "I'm afraid you've lost your job." The customer told the server to never mind, meaning that the drink she wants is not that important and they shouldn't discuss it any further. Never mind. And she went on to order a latte. Notice the pronunciation of this word. It's not typically English. It's latte. Latte. You try. When I was young, there was really only one type of coffee that you could order. But these days, there's lots of different types. Some of the main ones are cappuccino, which is frothy, milky coffee, latte, which is slightly less froth, and a flat white, which has milk in it, but no froth. And then you have an Americano, which has no milk in it at all. The server said the latte would be ready in a jiffy, which means it wouldn't be very long before it was ready.
Have you nearly finished?
Yes, I won't be a jiffy. He asked if he could tempt her with a piece of cake. And to tempt someone is to encourage them to do something. It's often used for things that are nice, like cake, but aren't really very good for you. The customer replied that they weren't keen on carrot cake, which means they weren't enthusiastic about it. I'm not keen on very cold weather. What are you not keen on? Let me know in the comments. She asked if there were any scones, and scones are these. There is a slight dispute about how this word is pronounced. Some, like me, say scone, and others say scone. It really doesn't matter which you choose when you order one of these pieces of heaven, scone or scone. The server wanted the customer to be patient with them, so they used the phrase, bear with me. And I've forgotten what I'm supposed to say next, so bear with me while I check my notes. Unfortunately, they were sold out, and sold out is a phrasal verb that means they had them, but they'd all been purchased, so there was none left. English phrasal verbs can often be joined together to make them sound more natural and a lot faster when you say them. And we can do it with this phrasal verb, sold out. To do it, simply move the D from the end of sold to the front of O of out. So it becomes sold out. Sold out. You say it in one breath and it becomes sold out. You try. Sold out. And in a sentence, all the scones were sold out. It was not the customer's day, which means things weren't going as they planned. They were being unlucky. It was not their day. The lady mentioned her waistline, which is this part of the body, and it's often talked about in a funny way to mean their weight. People might say, I have to watch my waistline. The customer asked how much they owed for the coffee by using the phrase, what's the damage? You can use this anytime you want to know how much you owe, whether it's for a thing or a service. We then heard the phrase, keep the change, which is a common way of telling someone that you're giving them a tip. Keep the change. The sugar was on the counter, which in every type of shop is this. Unless you're in a pub, and if you're in a pub, then the counter is known as a bar. To find out all about the language that's used in pubs, check out this video on the channel. The password for the Wi-Fi was written on the receipt. Now some people struggle to pronounce receipt correctly, and it's really quite easy. First, just don't pronounce the P, it's silent, and then split it into two. So it's re, and to get that good British R sound, push your lips forward, re, and the second part is simply seat, like what you sit on, seat. So together it's re-seat, receipt. You try. We heard the server tell the customer to give him a holler if they needed anything. And this is a friendly, common way of saying to shout them if they need any further assistance. Give me a holler. Now the simplest and best way for you to become fluent in English is to take part yourself in these conversations, so now it's your turn. Your words will appear on the screen as you need them. And for the best results, speak out loud. Hi, what can I get you? I'm awfully sorry, but that's a seasonal drink, so we stopped serving them last week. My hands are tied, I'm afraid. Sure, what size would you like? No problem, it'll just be a jiffy. Can I tempt you with anything else? The carrot cake is particularly nice. Bear with me, I'll check. No, I'm sorry, we're all sold out. If there's nothing else, that'll be £3.20, please. Cheers, that's very kind of you. If you need sugar, it's just along the counter. Sure, the password is on your receipt. Just give me a holler if you need anything else. Click here for another video that will really boost your English language skills. I'll see you next time.